So we live right now. So just sit here and wait till it hit 3. Then we'll go ahead and get started. Give everybody a chance to get on. Welcome to In the Clutch Sports Talk and More podcast. Join with me. I am Daryl Early. Joined today, my partner in crime, T. Will. How you doing?
What it do?
I'm finna bring in Show Enough Sharita. She down in Florida somewhere. She having a little technical difficulties, but here we go with Show Enough Sharita. How you doing today? You back on? Yeah, she still have some technical difficulties, so we gonna stay with her for right now and just see if we can get her back on because I know she has some stuff to say about our topic today. The name of the show is In the Clutch Sports Talk and More podcast. Today we don't gonna hit on no sports today. In the aftermath of the Breonna Taylor ruling, we decided to talk about something else, and it's basically what we can do in the Black community to help improve it. So that's pretty much what we're gonna try to hit on today. We really want calls. We really want people to call in. A number scrolling across the screen right now. We really want not so much complaints. You know, we need solutions. So we're looking for solutions. That's the main thing that we're looking for. If anybody got solutions to what we can do, how we can improve our communities, please call in and share that information. If we need to start some type of group, whatever it is that we need to do, we want to start trying to make a positive impact on our communities. Anybody that is friends with me on Facebook, I was up late last night. I'm talking about, because I like to do a lot of research and stuff before I just come on and start talking about stuff. And I was kind of torn because the more I was reading and researching stuff, I was getting upset, I was getting mad, I was getting frustrated, and I wasn't thinking clearly. Most of and one thing about it, we're not professional broadcasters. We're not professional reporters or anything like that. What we say on this show is basically just our opinion on what we think. And we understand that, everybody's not going to agree with what we say all the time. And that's fine, because I don't agree with we don't even agree on this show about everything. But, we use this platform as a voice to try to get out some of the things that we think could be better or this or that. And that's pretty much what we use this platform for. We have fun doing what we're doing. It's touchy situations, it's touchy subjects, it's stuff that had you thinking, it had you, I like to make people think about the other side. I like to make people say, okay, I never looked at it from that point, because I like when I'm strong on a position, I'm usually strong on it. But when somebody can come with another
perspective,
another perspective and show me a different side of it that I might not have considered, I love that. And then it makes you have more information, you have more things to decide upon, you have more factors to say, okay, well, this and that and that. And that's just like with this Breonna Taylor situation. When you hear from certain people, it's okay, it ain't, it should not be a question those officers should be charged and this and that. When you hear from another perspective, it's like, okay, well, they did have a warrant and they did announce themselves. And so it just depends on what side that you're getting the information from. my thing on that is information can be changed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could say, well, it was a no-knock warrant. Then you can come back and say, oh, well, it started off as a no-knock warrant, and then it became just a regular warrant. That information can be changed. And when that information is changed, the whole narrative is changed. So my thing is, if it was a no-knock warrant, why did they knock? See, certain stuff just don't add up. And I'm not here to go, like I said, we don't want to make excuses. We don't want to make, you know, I ain't trying to turn nobody's opinion. We're just putting out our opinion. We're trying to put out facts. And basically the show is about solutions for our community. So that's pretty much, what we're trying to hit on. And T. Will, I know this is a tough subject for you. And I understand your situation. So if you don't want to comment on it, I'm cool with that.
No, I'm going to comment on it, to a certain extent. Everything that you're saying is true, and to the audience out there, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think the part that bothers me the most out of Breonna's situation is that how they're changing things after the fact. They're trying to dive into her personal life and using all excuses in the world of uh, things happen because you was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and who you were with and who you were dating, and you was letting somebody harboring drugs and all that. We're hearing more of that, more so than the actual crime itself of this young lady getting shot, in her sleep. And to me, like you said, they changed the narrative on it. And I can deal with mistakes and people owning up to it, and things like that. But when you try to cover things up behind the scenes and come up with your own uh, way of looking at it just to fit, you or your beliefs, that's what I have a problem with. So that's my main thing with it. I'm very angry. I'm very disturbed. This has been happening for far too long, and really going on a bunch in the course of the last year. And I'm tired of it. I don't know all of the solutions or anything like that, but I was always taught uh, growing up that don't keep complaining about a situation. Come with some answers, come with some solutions. And this is, one of the things that we're asking uh, from part of the show to you viewers out there, to help us come up with some solutions. What are you thinking and all that? Like Daryl said, we're not professional um, commentators, but one thing when we started this show, we said that we weren't going to give in, and we were going to speak the truth and be fair and honest about it. So um, it's just a terrible situation, and it's just hard to speak about, but it must be spoken.
Right. Um, it's the situation is sad with Breonna Taylor, because even if you say, okay, well, the boyfriend, and it goes back to uh, what we say about the company that you keep, making smart decisions, but they're not even together anymore. That's what's kind of bothers me. If they were still together and he was the person that was there with her, then okay, maybe whatever. But they've been separated for a while now.
Yep.
So you can't even use the excuse that she was with this guy. She with a whole different guy now, or was with a different guy. So, when we hear people saying defund the police department, and that's just stupid talk to me. I
Yeah.
think instead of defunding the police department, we should detox the police department. And what I mean by that is that the police departments across the nation need to be retrained on everything. on everything.
Yeah, but the thing about that, Daryl, I agree with you to a certain extent, but you can't retrain the heart. You
Well,
just you can't retrain the heart. I mean, as sad as it is to say, I believe the techniques and a lot of things that's been going on forever. Yeah, you can retrain on certain aspects of, not putting your knee against the neck and different things like that, or certain uh, situations that they need to handle. But you can't change the heart. I mean, it's just it's who they are. I believe you can change, but that's going to be by the good Lord upstairs. If he doesn't have anything to do with it, good luck with that. Rechanging the heart, man, and that's the thing.
I
If your heart is
mean,
not in the right place,
that part, you can't change that. You if people got evil in them, like you said, God have to change that. It's nothing we could do as man to change that. If you just got evil intentions, you got evil intentions. What I'm talking about is changing the rules, changing the laws, changing the way they're trained in order to uh make it where it's uh what am I trying to say? Make it so it's right for them. Because I know they need protection. They need to have some type of rules in place because of the job that they do. But what I'm saying is that if you're never properly trained on how to do this, how to de-escalate a situation, let's just use that as an example. A lot of situations can be de-escalated. And I think the main problem with most police officers, the bad ones, I'll say, I'm not going to put all of them in the same boat. And we all have bad days, let me say that too. But sometimes you could easily de-escalate a situation by just staying calm and professional. I see on all these videos on Facebook, you see these guys or women, men, whatever, black, white, and they talk to police officers a certain way. Okay, you as a professional police officer, you can't get on their level. And because they talking bad to you, you gonna talk back bad to them because you got a badge on. And let me say this, and most of them, they just bad because they got a badge and a gun. And they feel like they got a right to kill you if it come down to it. But if you take some of those restrictions off of them, I guarantee you they'll calm down and be more professional. It's easy. I mean, that's just like if I talk crazy to you, Terry, and you say, I'm sorry, only an evil person gonna keep on escalating the situation.
right?
So they need to be trained on that stuff so that they don't jump off and be like, oh, so since you gonna talk crazy to me, I'm gonna talk crazy. I was watching a video. I should have posted it. Well, a guy from Canada was in a Lamborghini, and a police officer pulled him over and told him, you ain't got a license to drive in California, so you can't be driving here. And the guy was like, I do have the right to drive here. And he spit out some law or whatever that made it okay for him to do that. And the police officer just kept, he gave him his driver's license, registration, insurance papers, and all of that. So he had everything he needed. He's still being a butthole about it. So I'm like, why is he acting like that? Then the guy came back and said, hey, he signed the ticket and was like, I still don't agree with what you're saying, but hey, it's okay. So then the guy went and filed a report. No, he told the guy in the Lamborghini, you need to go park it. Or if not, if I see you again, I'm gonna have it towed. And the guy was like, man, you can't even do that. That's not even legal. And the police officer said, I can do it, I'm just not doing it. So the guy said, oh, I understand. You gonna do it. You know it ain't right, but you gonna do it just because you can and just have me going through a whole lot of paperwork and this and that. So the guy, which is what we need to start doing, instead of sitting there arguing back and forth with the police officer, he got his name and all of that. He didn't wait till the next day. He went to the Beverly Hills Police Department the same night and filed a formal complaint against this person. And when he went to the police station, the police officer was there, was like, oh yeah, you can drive. And how was he, I said, they was asking, what did he stop you for? And he was like, he stopped me for running a stop sign, but he gave me a ticket for having a Canadian license not having a valid California driver's license, some exhaust system. So I'm trying to figure out how a police officer even know if you got the correct exhaust system. But nonetheless, everything that the Canadian guy was saying was right. So he filled out the complaint, and the police officer tried to be like, do you really want to file a report? I mean, how do you want us to handle this? And you're right and he's wrong. You want me to just pull him to the side and talk to him? And the Canadian guy said, no, I don't want you to pull him to the side and talk to him. I want to file this formal report, formal complaint, so that it's on record of what this guy doing. And that's when we talk about solutions. Those are part of solutions that we can get stuff done instead of sitting there taking a chance on your life being taken by a police officer. Go file a formal complaint. And if everybody,
we can do that. Yeah, I agree with that. But we got to look at both sides of it too. In that situation right there, this guy, he acted professional. The police person was the one that was doing all the bad talking and being disrespectful. But we got to look at it on the other side too, is we have to respect the badge and what the police officers are doing. Like you said, this is a dangerous job, and this is not to all officers out there. You know, I'm thankful for the good ones that are out there that's keeping us safe, you know, and all that. But you know, just because we can say we have the freedom of speech and we can say what we want to say, I mean, you still need to respect the police. I mean, I just don't think that you should be going and talking crazy to them. Number one, because of all the stuff that's going on right now, you don't know how they'll react. Number two, it's just not the right thing to do. You're supposed to show respect, and I mean to a certain extent. I don't mean as far as you bowing down to them or anything like that, but I mean you still have to show that level of respect as being an officer. And I just think that we need to, as African Americans, we need to understand that as well.
I'm still here. I was taking a phone call.
Okay.
I mean, of course, we should be respectful to the police officers. I'm not, you know, but just like I said, we have bad days just like they probably have bad days. And some days you just don't want to, you know, you might not want to deal with the BS or whatever, you know, like the one thing I ain't never complained about was a speeding ticket. I know I speed sometimes. My kids, they'll tell you different. They say I drive pretty slow all the time. And I think we all don't got away with speeding. So when they pulled me over, the only time I really get upset was, you know, when I'm like, okay, you pulled me over, but it was a car right beside me going fast. It passed me. So I understand, you know, police, they can't get everybody a ticket, you know, so I'm respectful in those, you know, license, registration, insurance papers, and all of that. Is that even though, you know, you pulled us over, you don't have to, you know, it's a specific reason why you pulled me over. Let's handle that, and all the other stuff is unnecessary. You know, where you going? You know, I mean, what difference do it make where I'm going? I was speeding, you caught me, write the ticket, let's keep it moving. And my thing is, once you run the ticket, if I got any kind of convictions, I got any kind of warrants or whatever, you're gonna find that out then. So why waste time asking me this stuff when I may or may not answer correctly?
You're right.
You know, so that's how situations get escalated that shouldn't be escalated. You know why I pulled you over? Probably because I was speeding. Now this one, Joseph Simmons need to call in because he's just an idiot. He'll say the dumbest things to the police officers, and I don't know. I pray for
well, see,
my
that's
brother.
my point. Well, see, that's my point. You know how Joe's been doing this forever. He's had a couple of run-ins, you know, with the police, and he'll say the stupidest stuff. Those are the type of things that I'm referring to. That, and Joe don't mean any harm. To know him is to love him. But I'm just saying times are too crazy these days that you have to watch, you know, the way you're doing things, and those are the things that scare me in regards to him in that aspect, but just overall. And like I said, you're right. The police needs to respect us. They need to respect us. They have not been. Let me take this back. Not all of them. The bad ones need to respect us, but we just also need to have a level of respect for them as well.
Well, I mean, it goes both ways. It's just like anything. It ain't gotta be a police officer and a civilian. I mean, as a man, you want to be treated as a man. You want to be respected as a man. Same thing with a woman. You want to be respected, and it goes both ways. Just because you got a badge on, that don't give you the right to be able to sit there and argue, and he went right to the police station and filed a report. And those are the things that we don't, we cry about it, but then we don't want to take the time to go and file a police report. We don't want to
Well,
take
let me
the
ask you a
time.
question. Let me ask you a question on that. Do you think that part of the reason is why that we think that they're all buddy system, and that even if we waste our time to go down there to try to file a report, that they're not going to do anything about it? They're going to push it up under the rug and all that type of stuff. So, do you think that may be a possibility why we don't do that enough?
Well, they probably not going to do anything but the report. That's the most important thing. You get a copy, and the guy made sure he got a copy of the formal complaint. So, it doesn't matter if they say, hey, man, you shouldn't do that, and the guy keep doing it. The fact of the matter is to have a paper trail where you say, man, this guy, and that's where I say when you detox the police department, when you got a person that's constantly getting complaints, that's when leadership should step in and make the point of, okay, you got like 4 complaints in the last 6 months. What's going on? And that's when you handle those issues. You don't handle the issue after he don't kill somebody. After they don't kill somebody, it's too late then. But we gotta have the paper trail to back up the stuff that's going on. Because if I ain't mistaken, didn't the guy with the George Floyd, or was it him that had like some complaints or stuff? I
Yeah,
might
he
be
had.
wrong.
No, he had a ton of complaints. That's why I'm wondering. All that was flushed up under the rug. That led me to asking you: is that a reason why a lot of us don't go down there and file the formal complaints, because of just situations like that? That they're this one big family, and they're not going to um, do anything about it.
Yeah, but
Because I get what you're saying. It's the right thing to do. I just think a lot of the African Americans, and probably hell, I probably would put myself in the same category. We don't want to waste time, sit down there 2 hours to try to do this, which is the right thing to do again, but already knowing in the back of your head nothing's going to happen behind it.
I understand that, and just like you, I probably say it sound good, but then more than likely I'm not gonna go down there and do it either. But when I'm saying solutions and changes, that's when we have to be like, okay, even though I don't want to go down here and do it, I'm gonna still go down here and do it, because it's not only gonna help me, it's gonna help somebody else down the line. So those are the things, those are solutions that, even though it seems tedious and a waste of time and this and that, we got to start doing it. The police department, these are the things that can be so. And we keep freezing up here for some reason. We apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, those are the things that we have to do, because it's just necessary in order for us to be able to do the stuff that we need to do. I think we got show enough Sharit. I think she got her technical problems situated. We're gonna try to bring her back in right quick. I think she want to chime in on this. Hold on. You there, Sharit?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh yeah, I had to get back to this hotel because I was at Ross and I had bad connection. But I'm back and I definitely have a lot to say. But I'm just gonna be quick and brief. I just wanted to say that, I agree with both of you guys and what you were saying. The problem is we can say that there's a problem on both sides, but I think the citizen problem is stemming from all of the problems that the police have created. We are reacting to them because, like you said, you want us to respect you, and sir you and this and that. But where's the respect for us? It's as if once you pull us over, we have no rights. I got to do what you tell me to do. My attitude got to be how you want it to be. I got to respond the way you want me to respond. And if not, then you become judge, jury, and executioner right there on side of the road. And that's the part that's where we say Black Lives Matter, because we've seen videos where other people have talked bad, have had attitudes, have driven off, have slammed their doors, have not rolled their windows down, have not given them information quick enough, and they walk away alive. We don't. That's where I don't understand why people are not getting that. That is the problem that we have, that we as Black people are disproportionately killed more often by police officers.
And
What part of that don't they get?
here's the thing I'll say about that, and I tell my kids all the time: is it more important for you to get your point across that you got rights, or is it more important for you to make it home safe?
And I absolutely agree with you, because I have preached that to both of my children. But this is the part, Daryl. Even when you continue you do everything they say, if they having a bad day, you can die. Even when you comply. Even when you comply, you still can die. I can't remember his name. I think it was Castle something. I can't remember his name. But the guy that was shot dead with his daughter and his girlfriend in the car. Now, he was doing everything this officer told him to do. He was in a right to carry state. He told him when you pulled over, you are supposed to announce that you have a weapon, where it is. He did that. He was going to get his identification. He told him where it was at. He did everything he was supposed to do. And that man was killed in front of his child. So what do we say then?
There ain't nothing you can say. That goes back to my point. That goes back to my point of detoxing the police department. Because if I see it all the time. If you a shaky person, if you scared, then you shouldn't even be a police officer.
Exactly.
That job is just like being in the military. Certain people ain't cut out for the military. Most of the time they put them in positions where they ain't doing no fighting, they doing admin, they doing something else. Everybody ain't cut out to be a police officer. Everybody, you might have aspirations of being a police officer, but you might not be cut out for that. In that detox process, all of those people should be eliminated or given a desk job. Because and don't get me wrong, I wish we need a police officer to call in right now. But I understand that you have to make split-second decisions. I understand that. But it's just like when I don't want to say this the wrong way, because I don't want to come across as somebody that don't support veterans, because I'm a veteran myself. But when you put that uniform on, you know what you signed up for. So if you get killed in the line of duty, you signed up for that. That's why I say it's not for everybody. It's not cut out for everybody.
Right.
But to piggyback on what you were saying, Sharita, that's why I got this tab on here right now. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting, which means I don't have to sit down on the side of the road and argue with a police officer. I'm going to take my ticket and I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to take my ticket and I'm going to keep on moving. And then
you're absolutely right.
Formal complaint. And once I file that formal complaint, that's when I'm taking my action. He don't never have to know that I came down there. And if everybody do that, it's one thing if one person do it, then okay, they be like, well, one of them had a bad day. But when you got 5, 6, 10, 12, 20 complaints somebody gonna have to see that and act on that. Somebody
Girl,
gonna have
I have seen videos where people go to file a complaint and they are intimidated by those officers there into not doing it. And because everybody's not like you, Daryl, and everybody's not like me. Everybody
That's the-
don't know
that's the
that,
game.
they're just gonna turn around. That's what I'm saying. You got to get all not only the people on the officers that are in the out in the streets. You got to get to these old heads that done been there for 30, 40 years, who are sitting there. There's the person that you run into when you go to file your complaint, and they try to talk you or intimidate you out of doing it. See,
Daryl,
that's what I'm saying.
Daryl, and Sharita's telling you just exactly right. When you had her off, me and you just got to talking about this a few minutes ago. I said it would deter you most times to go out there and do that because you got those same guys, the same, group of guys that's the buddy system, and nothing's going to be done about it. So I mean,
and they can say all day that there's not a blue wall of silence. They know damn well it is. Just like they talking about ain't no snitching in the street, it ain't no snitching for police either. Y'all ain't gonna tell on each other either.
Okay, we all know that. So it still goes back to what I'm saying. File your report, get a copy of it, and have it on record. That's all you can do. I don't mean to cut y'all off.
That's all. Go ahead.
We're bringing on State Representative Antonio Parkinson. Give him a few minutes to get situated. Give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready. Okay, he say he locked and loaded and ready.
You ready?
State Representative Parkinson has been with District 98 state rep since March 8th of 2011. He got to be a good guy because he's a former Marine, and we already know former Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Hoorah, Devil Dogs! Because I'm a Marine, I'm a veteran Marine too. So big ups to that. He's also a retired firefighter, and he's one of the business leaders here in Memphis. He also is a 4-time winner of Tennessee Legislator of the Year. So that means he's doing something right.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got a Memphis icon. Yeah,
we got a Memphis icon coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand for State Representative Antonio Parkinson.
Man.
He also my friend.
Yeah, that's my people. What's up, Sharita Miller? Simplify, Devil Dog. What's happening, man?
Simplify, do or die.
It's coming.
Simplify, do or die. Look, everybody don't understand that language, right? That's that fraternal brotherhood, right?
That's a good fraternal brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
First and foremost, we want to thank you for coming on to the show today.
Well, thank y'all for having me, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate Sharita. Appreciate you reaching out. Y'all, I'm in Walmart. Look, I got my basket over here behind me, so I had to stop and pause. So but
we don't care how you show up. We don't care where you at.
Right, it don't matter. Let's do it. Look, technology, right?
That's
technology.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sitting back pool, man.
Yeah, anytime, there's a platform, I always tell people, he or she who controls the information controls everything. So we need more platforms like this for us to get information out, for us to make sure our people are educated and make sure that, they have every opportunity at a better quality of life. That's not no political shit. That's real shit for me.
Exactly. And I looked you up. I saw a lot. I didn't even write down all the fires. You got a lot of fires going on, and that's good. So you in the position to give us information. And the topic of the show today is in the black solutions for our communities. So I know you can hit on that. And I also want you to hit us up with what voting, not just the presidential election, some other stuff that's on the ballot. So I'm gonna give you the floor and you just enlighten us on some of this stuff.
Well, first, again, thank you. First, let me say this, that, the fact that you're saying solutions or black solutions, that's the most important thing that we need to be discussing today, because we cannot keep on asking people to save the day for us. Our solutions are right here within. And to be totally honest with you, our solutions is in voting, of course, but it's not enough to just vote, though. And I need our people to understand that it's not enough to just vote. Yes, we want you to vote. Yes, vote. Everybody vote. Get grandma and everybody in the family and neighbors, everybody out to vote. But it's not enough to vote. You have to also direct your money. We have to direct our money. That's the most important thing. And I want y'all to think about this. Think about this. There's been 4 times in the history of the United States when the United States has shifted on its axis, and every one of those events in history were around money. So think about it. When England was levying those taxes on the rich people, a lot of people think that England levied the taxes for tea and all of those goods on everybody in the colonies. It wasn't for everybody. It was only for the rich people. But once again, in the history of the United States, the rich people duped the poor people into fighting their fight for them. And so then they started dumping this tea in the harbor, right? And the next thing you know, we had a Revolutionary War, right? It was about money. The second time was when the North was watching France and all of these other countries beginning to industrialize, and they said, hey, this slow pace and this thing that y'all doing down in the South with slavery, we want to industrialize, so we got to get machines going so that we can produce more profit faster and export it quicker, right? And so because the North was about to decimate the economy of the South, things changed in America again then, right? It was all about money, right? Then the third time was when Black folks decided that, hey, we're going to stop spending our money on these buses and shut this economy down. Things changed again, civil rights movement, right? And then the last time in the history of the United States when things changed, and when I say changed, I'm talking about where the country shifted, where it pivoted, was when those world banks were hit, the World Trade Centers, right? Hit the money, right? And so then things shifted again. We hadn't even been living life the same since then. Am I correct? Y'all remember that?
You're right. You're exactly
It's
right.
always been about money. And here's the thing, and I don't have any issue and knock people for protesting, but protesting creates awareness. I'm in the marketing business. That's what I do. But protesting creates awareness. But they will let us protest and march and chant until we fall flat on our faces and turn blue. And then they're going to repeat the same thing that happened that caused us to be out there protesting, because we are not speaking the language of America. The language of America is not English, it's not Spanish, it is capitalism. And until you speak that language, things don't change. They don't hear you. You sound like Charlie Brown's teacher on, wah, 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 wah. That's what it sounds like to their ears. And so again, it's fine to protest and we got to vote, but nothing will change until you affect the dollar. And we have the buying power and to affect the dollar greatly, but we're just not operating and directing our economic energy in the same direction.
Right. And so when you say we're not directing it in the same direction, expound on this. So people, I want to make sure everybody understand exactly what you're saying when you say that.
Let me give you an example. Okay, you know what the tool that they used to keep all of the slaves in order, right, was or black people in order, was a public lynching, right?
Correct.
Right. So they punish you, or they kill or maim you in front of all of the other black folks, so that the other black folks would be scared not to do anything and not to get out of line. Right. That's how they do it. Right. It's the same thing economically that black folks need to do. There needs to be an economic lynching of one business that supports a Trump or supports these individuals that are pushing and carrying out these policies that allow unarmed people to get killed in the streets, right? So let's say whoever those backers are, because they're backers, and a lot of them we spend money. Hell, one of these I might be spending money with one of them right now.
Yep.
And so we have to pull our money from just one, and everybody else will fall in line. Think about what you're seeing right now with the whole BLM movement, and you're seeing the NFL falling in line, and NBA, and all of these folks. Same folks that just not even a year ago was like, they bet not kneel. You see what I'm saying? And now they're falling in line because they are scared of the economic impact that could happen, the fallout that could happen should black folks pull that dollar from them. Right. And so that's what it looks like. That's what it means. And until we make an example out of one, then nothing else will change. And if you think about it, we've been protesting since before George Floyd, and then we had Breonna Taylor and others, and the dude that was doing the barbecue out there in Louisville, and right behind that, right, same thing. repeating itself. We got to do something different.
Right. And I know a lot of time we say, spend your money in your community. We need to spend money in the Black community. I'm all for that. But the problem that I run into sometimes is that when you try to do that, you don't get the same quality. You don't get the same customer service. And I'm not talking about all Black business. I'm talking about what do we need to do to get that in line where we can, instead of going to these big corporations, where we can start. I know we got to start small, but what plan can we put in place to incentivize Black business owner, because you're a Black business owner, I'm a Black business owner, to enhance that?
Yeah, you know what, man? Look, I've been doing some work on a house that I got, a new house I have now, and I fired 9 folks, man. Fired them and probably cursed half of them out. You know, so it's a real issue. It's not only a real issue with our businesses, but it's a real issue with our folks working inside of corporate America businesses. You know, you pull up to you know, the chicken house and get mean mugged when you spending your money and keeping their job. So that's something that we have to work on. You know, again, going back to those solutions, right? Those are things that we have to work on as a people internally and get it fixed. You know, even looking at Black on Black crime, you know, Black folks killing Black folks, right? You know, we can't turn a blind eye to that and ignore that as if that's not happening. And if you think about it, you know, we all know where the trouble house is in the neighborhood, right? And usually, think about this. Usually, I can honestly say that 90% of our neighborhoods are good, hardworking people, right? But you got 1, 2, or 3 houses where all of the drama happens at, right? And we can't keep on turning a blind eye to that. And neither can those people who own those houses and are watching their children come in and out, you know, hustling, you know, slanging, you know, and all of this stuff on the street and making our neighborhoods look bad. You know, we have to police our own. And we have to do it vigorously.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that, Antonio, because that's what I was telling Sharita and Daryl back, and I think they sort of misinterpreted my Black Lives Matters comment.
Didn't.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And what I was sitting up there saying was pretty much that a lot of times we can be our own worst enemy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's the truth. You know, we are imperfect people. We are imperfect as a people. And you know, there are some things that we have to do. There are some things that we have to unlearn, undo. You know, there's some holdovers, some psychological holdovers that we're still dealing with. You know, with the traumas, you know, from coming over here. But they have to be addressed, though. They have to be addressed, and they have to be addressed in truth. You know, and at the same time, they have to be addressed with empathy. You know, and so that yes, we know these are some things that we have to fix and undo. You know, and we just got to get on it and do it. And you know, again, man, you know, I want y'all to think about this. Why would any group or segment or sect of people in a society give up their positions at the top of society? So they wouldn't dare educate you to their levels of education in order for you to ascend to the top of them. You see what I'm saying? And so those are things that we have to take into our own hands, making sure that, you know, our children are getting the best education possible, you know, making sure that, you know, we elect and put the people in office that really, truly care about our people. You see what I'm saying? And not just, you know, I'm looking at a situation that's going on right now with John D. Berry, you know, and the fact that, you know, there's video out there of him, you know, as the headliner at the Republican Party meeting here in Shelby County. You see what I'm saying? And so we've got to be conscious enough to make sure that we elect people that's going to really, really have our back and really, really have our interests at heart. And we got to get out there to vote. And then, you know, you look at, okay, you know, they make policies that would try to keep you from voting. Well, that should tell you how valuable the vote is. Right. You know, and the fact that, you know, they removed the citizenship from thousands of our people so that they cannot vote. Well, then we should be pushing those thousands that cannot vote to be the drivers to take 5 people that can vote to vote in their stead. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
There's ways for us to start managing our situation and pulling ourselves out of this rut, you know, but we just got to really make an intentional effort to make it happen.
Right.
Absolutely. And let me just say, going back to what Terry was saying, my only problem when we have a conversation about the so-called black on black crime and what we need to do as a race is when some of us use white people as the barometer and how they do things. Because, you know, because that's it, just to me personally, you know, that's that they water is colder than ours type of thing. Like when we need to do it. Like, I'm not looking to you as my, you know, as the barometer of what I'm going to do in my community. I'm going to look to my black community leaders and see how they're telling us to do it. That's that's why I hate that term black on black this and black on black that, because it always leads to somebody talking about how they do it and how white people do it. Man, bump them. That's what I was saying. Right.
Yeah. No, it's internally ours. You know, and it's something that we need to address. And regardless of what they are doing on the outside, and you're absolutely right. I'll tell you, you know, the validation piece, and I think it's extremely valid that we have this discussion about, you know, validation, because it was that validation piece that caused us to lose all of the industry that we once had in our own communities, and it killed us economically. And I'm I always use this as a story. I'm sure it's not a true story, but there were, you know, I always see this visually as, you know, you had, you know, the old white man at the country club, and you know, and then, you know, you had the least educated one in there. He said, you know, we got to stop the blank N-words from coming over into our neighborhoods and living over us and eating in our restaurants and such and such and such. And I imagine there was probably a smart country, rich white dude in that room that was sitting there listening, leaning back, and then he said, "Bubba, shut your blank up." He said, "Let them come, because they bring their money with them." And from there, you know, we decided that hey, you know, I can move over into their communities because it's better over there. And then we start spending our money and building their communities. Or you know, we you know, so that means we left our black transportation companies, we left our, you know, shoe cobbler, we left you know, our black educators who really cared about our kids. Right. And others, and you know, and all of the industry we were building, because we felt like we were being validated if we live over here amongst them, or eat at these restaurants, or buy from Macy's, or instead of buying from Jimmy's over at Hollywood and Chelsea. You see what I'm saying? Which the stuff come from the same place. And so, you know, and so if I had to spend a couple more dollars with Jimmy, I choose to spend that money with Jimmy. The only time, you know, if I'm gonna spend some money outside of my district or outside my community or away from my people, is because it's just not here. And so that's and then, you know, if that's the case, I'm getting online.
Right. And we might go over today, and that's fine. But I want you to hit on some of the other things that are on the ticket this year as far as the voting. I know everybody's concerned about the presidential election and making sure they vote in there. Is there anything else on the ticket that we need to pay close attention to and monitor and make sure we informed about that?
So your state elections, you know, these state elections, you can't sleep on the state elections. I'm not saying that because I'm a state legislator. I'm saying that because I've learned how crucial our role is to everybody. Let me give you an example. You know, when you follow the money, you know, so when you buy that pack of chips, or when you pay, you know, buy that house, or, you know, this, that, and other, you know, and when you pay your federal taxes goes to the feds, right? And guess who the feds send the money back to? They send the money back to us for distribution to the cities and the counties, right? When you buy them chips, them sales tax, that comes to us. And then we decide who distributes, where it goes, if it's going to be distributed. Yeah, all right. Yeah, if it's going to be distributed to, you know, where it's going to be distributed at to, with the cities and the counties. So those resources, when we hear that buzzword resource, we're talking about money. So those resources, you know, they are coming from us. So that means Washington D.C. sends the money to Nashville. Nashville distributes the money, decides where the money goes. You know, every bag of chip, every candy bar, you know, piece of wood you buy at Home Depot, when you pay them sales taxes, comes to Nashville, and we decide where it's going to go. Now, what happens is this: if we don't put the right people in office, give an example, like for those that live in the suburbs, live in Collierville, Germantown, and those areas, you know, some of our Republican legislators are aligning themselves with legislators that's out in East Tennessee and in rural communities. So they are then taking the money that we should have had for Memphis and Shelby County and laying it out for the folks out in East Tennessee or in the rural areas. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why it's so important that those state elections, man, they are, listen to me. State elections are more important than your presidential elections and more important than your city elections. I'm telling you, because we hold the purse for all of it.
It's always
You know,
money.
one thing them Republicans taught me, they said, and I was like, damn. They said, if the state legislators, we sign off on the charter for the cities, and we sign off on the charters for the counties. If we don't sign off on them charters, there is no city and no county. But if it's the collection of the states that make up the federal government. If there's no collection of states, there will be no federal government. You see what I'm saying? Right. So that's where the power is. That's why I tell people when they come up there to the Capitol, I say, hey, you walking in the most powerful building in the land. This is where those who make the rules, we are the rule makers. Even though I'm dressed down here in jogging suit, t-shirt, and tennis shoes. We are the rulers. We are the rule makers. So if we make the rules, you know, we're the ones that decide what's fair, what's not, what's good, what's not, what you will go to jail for, what you won't, how much time you're going to do, how much you want, how much money is coming to your schools, how much is not, all of that stuff. We are the rule makers for the state of Tennessee. That's where the power is.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Terry, when it's the small things that add up to the larger sum. We got to start off smart. See, we always look at, well, whoever the president is, and I know a little, I don't know a lot, but I know a little bit, and I know the president he can't just snap his finger and make stuff happen. It's up under him to make stuff happen. So we have to start making the small changes at the bottom, and it doesn't trickle down, it trickles up.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You are absolutely right. 100%. So yeah, there's, on these state races are every 2 years. You know, you vote in the primaries to decide which Democrat's going to run against which Republican, and then vote in the general, which is usually around your presidential and around your congressional races every 2 years. So, we got to make sure that keep that at the forefront, because that's the real slick, crafty tactic they use just to lull y'all to sleep when these state elections come. And again, we decide everything for the state. Everything. We can tell, like, even if the city of Memphis, and this has happened. I'll give you an example. The Davidson County, Nashville decided they said, you know what, we're not going to prosecute simple possession of marijuana. So basically, in essence, what they were saying was, we're going to legalize small amounts of marijuana in Nashville. The state came back and said, my colleagues came, I didn't vote for this shit. I said no, but they came back and they were like, no, it will be illegal for you to do that, for you to make simple possession legal in Nashville and Davidson County. So they came back and just overrode them like it was nothing. You see what I'm saying? That's where the power is, though. You see, you follow me?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. So
we need people of our color, of our thinking, in those positions.
Right. Yeah. And they don't have to be of our color. They just need to be representing us.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It ain't always about. It ain't always got to be the black person to make stuff happen.
Right.
But we put the right people in the right places to make the right decisions for everybody. And it's not about picking the whites or anything like that. It's all about, and I said this on the other show, we just want a fair playing field. That's all we ask for.
That's it. So that's why it's important to vote. Now, if again, going back to the economic piece, the minute that and this is something that we can do in Memphis and make a huge difference. If we were to remove our dollars from one company, right? What's going to happen? Let me tell you. Now, this is where it trickles down. What's going to happen is that company is then going to go to that those legislators that they support. And they're going to say, hey, y'all got to stop this right now because it's affecting my business. Right. And guess what? The legislators that get funded by those companies, by those owners or their PACs or whatever it is, those legislators are then going to change their policy because guess what? They're not going to get funded anymore. That's how this works.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Makes sense to me. It's all about the money. You got to follow the money. And like I said,
Antonio, I have one last question for you. As far as the numbers of the people, I'm sure you're privy to the numbers of African Americans, not only in your district but in the city of Memphis that is not voting. You know, some of us get lulled to sleep and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to go vote. They'll have enough votes. They should win," and all that. So I would like the audience to know some of the numbers, you know, in the past of people that are not voting, so it can actually hit home to them, saying, "Hey, we had 200,000 people that didn't vote last year that could have helped, you know, this election." So can you share a little bit about the some of the numbers of the ones that are not voting?
Yeah. So it's in like the 80%. So you know, like in my district, I represent 65,000 households. 65,000 households. You know, we may have 5,000 people to come out and vote. You see what I'm saying? So you got to think about. I want you to think about that. So you may have. So if that's 10% of the households, let's say if it's one person per household, that's 10%. So you got literally the 10% of the people deciding all of the policy for 70,000 people. You see what I'm saying? Let me give you an example of how that works on the macro scale. Because things like that happen, when we were pushing for everyone to be insured in the state of Tennessee, there were 6 legislators that decided we're not going to even have a discussion on it. Because those legislators were elected, and those legislators were on that committee, the health committee in the Senate, and those 6 legislators on that Senate health committee said, we're not going to even have a discussion to see if we can insure 300,000 people in Tennessee for free. And we had we had already paid for it. I want you to think about what I'm saying now. We already paid for the health care. It was paid for to the federal government. I'm talking about the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, right? We had already paid for it. All we had to do was pass a law that said we can do it in the state of Tennessee. So those 6 senators said, nope, it won't even be heard. You won't even get a discussion on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And because they were on that committee, and it was I think 11 people on that committee, maybe, or 9, but 6 of them said, nope, we're not going to even discuss it. Dead in the water. So 300,000 people with no health insurance. Think about this. Out of that 300,000, some of their family members died because they didn't have access to health care. This is how important the state elections are. This is how important it is.
That's great stuff, man. I'm just thinking, wow, about the numbers, man. I mean, that's woo.
Yeah.
We got to do better. We got to do better.
We got to do better. State Rep Antonio Parks, thank you for joining the show.
Man, anytime.
You in Walmart. I hope they
they getting me, man. They getting me. They know. Look, they know when you get a basket, you might as well consider yourself got. Look at that.
Yeah, you serious when you get a basket at Walmart.
Yeah, you get a basket, it's over with. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. But hey, we appreciate you, Kyle, joining in with us today. And we definitely gonna want to have you back on some more shows. I hope you'll be able to join us. And
anytime.
And again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, man. Great job on your platform, guys.
Thank you.
Great job. Great show.
Have a good one.
You too.
Man.
Man, that was a great guess, man. I
Man,
enjoyed that. Wow.
yeah, them last numbers he hit me with though, kind of.
That's the
Man,
reason why I decided to ask, because we as black people, and I've been guilty in the past as well, where I used to didn't vote, and it was one of those where, oh well, they'll get enough votes for, whatever they need and all that type of stuff right there. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm a freaking veteran, and don't vote. So that hit me. So I wanted to, ask the state representative of the numbers. But as you heard, I mean, those numbers, man, was just crazy of how many people that don't vote, that we can make a change in a lot of these policies, and the people that uphold those policies, man, of what we can actually do. So I'm just encouraging everybody out there to do better, and let's get out there and vote. Not telling you who to vote for and all that, but just be educated and do your homework and just go out there and vote.
yeah, we definitely need to get out there and vote. We're gonna take a quick break, right? Quick commercial break. Got these sponsors. I didn't get her in when I was supposed to, so let me get this sponsor in right quick. And we got somebody on the phone that has something to say, and I think it definitely needs to be heard. So you guys hang on for one quick second. Lily May handmade aromatherapy products offer several essential oil-based and fragrance-based products. Our line includes a myriad of body butter, creams, bath bombs, lip balms, and so much more. Our products are handmade with focal points of integrity, quality, and wellness. Add Lily May to your self-care routine and enjoy the benefits of aromatherapy. That's Lily May. I hope y'all got that. Website. You really need to join her. Buy some of her product. I'm still waiting on my free product.
Yeah, I thought the show usually get free products so we can sit up there and
Yeah, we
brag
supposed
on it.
free
But
product.
like I said, yeah, but Lily, she's got some great stuff, and great person overall. So just take her, take a look at what she's got. I'm sure you love it.
Caller, are you on the phone? Hello, caller. I thought I had a caller on the phone. Caller, are you on the line? Hello?
Guess you don't.
I guess I don't. Let's try this again. Call them back and see if they answer.
The person you have dialed can't take your call now. At the tone, please record your
Oh my
message.
goodness. Should I try one more time?
Yeah, try one more time, man.
Hello.
Hello, caller. You're live on the air. I just want to let you know that.
Well, thank you very much.
You had some comments that you wanted to make, and I'm gonna give you the floor right quick. Go right ahead.
Well, Dara, can you introduce the caller? Can I know her name? Or
The caller wanted to be anonymous.
well, I mean, we don't know who she is. She can just say her name. Just say Jane Doe or say something, but before she started talking. Okay, Mia.
Tell your co-host I said I'm gonna be anonymous, and we're gonna leave it at that. Call me anonymous.
I already, yeah. I think I know who that is. I think.
No, you know who this is.
It don't matter. Anyway, let me address why I called. So I just got done listening to Mr. Parkinson, and I think he said something about education. And I wanted to just let you know that our education system here in the city is slacking big time. Our students are way behind a lot of other children, and we got to do better as parents. Mainly, we got to do better.
I want you to tell the story that you told me yesterday when we were on the phone, because I think that's going to shed a lot of light on because some parents just you know, they give their kids too much benefit of the doubt, I think. So if you just could quickly just share that story that you shared with me, could you share that with the audience right quick?
I'm gonna change a couple of the details about it.
I mean, yeah.
For privacy purposes. But I know that we have a lot of single homes with children, and you have one parent really doing everything and trying to make ends meet. And a lot of times we use that as an excuse. Oh, I got to do this. I got that. I got this many children. Okay, that was a decision you made. But at the end of the day, the children are still our responsibility as parents, and we should not give them everything they want. We make sure we give them everything they need, but not everything they want, because we're spoiling them and we're making them think that life is just going to give them everything they want and they don't have to get out here and earn legally what they want or need. So as a parent, I'm saying it's your responsibility to make sure your child is up, ready for school, prepared for school. It's not the entire city's responsibility to give you supplies, to give you everything your child needs. It's just not the city's responsibility. And the children are suffering. They have to be the parent, the babysitter, the this, the that. The children are children. And we have so many that have issues beyond your imagination because of us as parents not doing our job. We're going to get our hair done. We're going to get our nails done. We're going to buy that outfit. But what's your child looking like?
You know what? I totally agree with I totally agree with you. And some of the stuff we can give our children too much too fast. And that's why I used to always preach about my two sons. I mean, they have one of the world's greatest mothers and all that. It did everything for them. One of the problems that I had is that they had everything. I mean, the newest clothes, the newest shoes. You start off that you're going to be on a punishment for a week, but it ended up being a day or two or whatever like that. She does everything in the world for them. And once they get out there to the world, they're like newborn babies. They can't handle it. They don't know what to do. They're constantly being dependent on others and all that. So I think you made a great point.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wish a lot of women didn't have to raise the children by themselves, but it is what it is. You know, I don't get into the men should be there, it's their responsibility. It is what it is. If they're not there, you still have that responsibility as a mom. If the mom isn't there, but the father is, you still have that responsibility of making sure your child is taken care of. And we keep not doing it. Some of them keep not doing it. And it's ridiculous what I see day in and day out, excuses on top of excuses. And then they want us to be sympathetic. I am not that person.
Definitely not.
I'm not sympathetic to foolishness.
Right.
How does the teacher and the school play a role with the child? And the reason I'm asking that is because I always look back and I always say that I had the best experience as a student at Cypress Junior High School. I think that was the best school I ever went to. And I came from Snowden. Well, I went to Graceland, I went to Snowden, and I ended up at Cypress. So that's 3 different schools. And by far, I think Cypress was the best school that I attended. I could get into details, but I for one, the teachers cared about the students. And for those that don't know, yes, it was all black. We had all black teachers. I mean, they pushed us hard. Mr. Lacey, that was the first time in my out of 9 years of school, including kindergarten, that was the first time I ever got a C on my report card, and that was given to me by Mr. Lacey. And I
And that's a true story. This is a guy. No, you ain't almost cried. You cried. You know, I got witnesses that said that this guy right here used to cry if he get a B. This is how dedicated he was and how smart of a guy he was. This guy right here would get a C or a B, and this guy would actually cry.
But I'm gonna tell you how it made me better. In the past, I would do a paper or whatever. I just write up something, turn it in. I might do it the night before. With Mr. Lacey, I wasn't able to do that. And when I asked him, I said, "How I get a C?" You know, I'm asking him, "How did you grade me a C?" And what he told me was, "You're a smart young man, but I can tell you just threw this together." How he know I just threw it together, I don't know.
But did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, it was a paper. I threw it together. Keep in mind, I was doing the same thing all the way up through the 8th grade, and I was making A's and B's. You know, I ain't a B didn't bother me too much. I wanted all A's, but a C.
Yes, you did.
A C on my report card, a C. But from that point forward, I dedicated I said he'll never give me a C again. And when I got to the 10th grade over there at Treadwell High School, big ups to the Eagles, and I ran into Mr. Bronson. Everybody used to say something about Mr. Bronson. Mr. Bronson was a piece of cake to me because of the teaching that I got at Cypress from Mr. Lacey. So I thank him for being hard on me and not letting me slide by. I thank Mr. Bronson for doing the same thing. You know, I thank all my Miss Lewis, Miss Anderson, Miss Champion.
You want me to answer the question you asked me 10 minutes ago?
Yes. No, I mean, I don't know if you want to tell the story.
I mean, I'm gonna address the question you asked me. I want to.
Okay, well, come on now.
That's the point of me being a caller. Okay, so when
see what I got to deal with callers. You see what I got to deal with people. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Sir. So the connection between the teacher and the school, what right now, and I don't know if you remember or not, but back when the school didn't do everything for us. There were things our parents had to do for us. And then we, went to school, and we went to school to be educated. Now the school serves as, and not right now because of COVID, but the school serves as so many different facets. It's ridiculous. Like everything literally happens at the school. And it's like, to me, we're taking the responsibility from the parents when we're doing everything. And it takes you as a teacher to too many different levels, and it stretches you and pulls you to the point where you're exhausted when it's time for you to deal with your own family. Because I remember one time when I was working, I had to stop my class to go take the children to get, it was either a physical or something to that effect. And I was like, isn't that what the insurance they get, the parents get? Isn't that the purpose of the insurance? You take your child to the doctor and get a physical? I shouldn't have to stop class, but because some people are irresponsible. You understand what I'm saying? Now that field, education, now is doing more than what it should be doing and not doing what it really should be doing. We're really not getting a chance to teach the children the way we want to, the way we should, so that they'll have basic skills. Because we're doing everything else. Eye exams. They check the teeth at school now, don't you? I mean, everything. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
It is crazy, but at the same time,
you go with a but.
No, I'm
and
saying,
that's the problem.
No,
the but.
No, that's not the problem, because I think you can do both. I think it all.
See, because you're not in there doing it.
No.
But when you get in there and you have to do it, let me stop you. Let me tell you seriously. And you'll ask any educator, when your money is attached to a child passing or failing a test, you think I want to take a child to go get a physical? No, I want you to learn what I got to teach you so you can pass that test so I can get my money. Does that make sense to you? Because it don't make sense to me. Remember when we used to take the California Achievement Test? They didn't give us no results from that test.
This is what I'm saying.
And I bet you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide with your brain instead of using the calculator.
This is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying.
There you go, making an excuse. Go ahead. What you saying? I thought you were going to say something.
I am saying something. What I'm saying is that we all in a different generation now. Things ain't like they used to be. We all understand that. What I'm saying is, whatever you got to do to make it work, we can make it work. We got all these half a days of school. We got all these fall breaks. We got all these different things where kids do need some time off from studying. I agree with that. But some parents, the way it's set up now, like when we were going to school, like my daddy used to get up and go to work at like 6:30 in the morning. So we had someone that came down there when I was younger They came down to the house and made sure we got off to school, got on the bus and all of that. Now you don't have that. So you have to make provisions to make sure that some of this stuff can get done. Now, I know it's harder on you teachers now, and don't get me wrong. I think y'all underpaid, underappreciated, and all of that. But that's where we say we need to vote on stuff. We need to talk about stuff. We need to make stuff better. The teachers are right along in that. Teachers need to be getting together saying, hey, look, this is what we need to do. If y'all going to add this and add that, then maybe we need to extend the school year.
No, see, there you go. Let's put more on you, and then no. Listen, the reason why I'm telling you, listen. The reason why I called is for you to understand and the listeners to understand. Parents have to be responsible. It's that simple. And don't make excuses for, we're in a different age. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Do you understand that? I lived in a home with 9. Hold on a second. Let me finish.
I
lived in a home.
What I said. Did you understand?
I heard you.
Hold on. Did you understand what I said? That my dad had to be at work. My dad didn't have a choice. My dad couldn't take off work to say, I got to go take you to a doctor's appointment or I got to take you here. I just said in my day, it was someone else that was available to do that. Now we don't have that. We don't have that other person. It was my neighbor down the street that was able to take me where I needed to go when I needed to go. Whether we had a car, we had to ride the bus or whatever we had to do. If you don't have that now, which some parents don't, some parents do. So we as people have to come together and make it where we got to have a solution. And I ain't saying, you might say, okay, well, it ain't adding time to the school year. You might have another solution to it, but we gotta solve all the problems. We can't just solve the one problem.
Again, you're missing the big picture. If somebody came to the house to take y'all to school, your daddy must have talked to somebody and it got resolved. But was it the teacher doing it?
Was it the teacher doing it?
Was it the teacher?
No, it wasn't the teacher.
Okay. So my point.
It wasn't the teacher.
Okay, my point is
how many students you got in your class?
We average about 30. We average about 30.
Okay, so I don't expect you to take 30 students to go get their teeth looked at, go get their eyes examined, and this and that. I don't expect that. That's why I say
you're the king of changing the narrative. You're the king of. She just told you it don't matter if you had 1 kid or 30 kids. Her thing is the parents should be more available and doing more things and taking less stuff off the teachers.
And let me throw this in there. Mr. Early. The Department of Human Services, and I know what I'm talking about, provides services for the parents that get assistance from the government. They provide transportation.
Okay, so why
and all kind of things. Do a lot of them use it?
So
no.
Why are you doing
it? Why am I? Who? The teacher doing it?
Yeah.
Because when they call your room and tell you, hey, your class has to go, so you gonna do it. I mean, you gonna do it. It's just that simple. It's part of what they done said you got to do. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Your class got to go where? To the cafeteria?
To wherever they set up. If it's in the cafeteria, if it's in the gym, if it's in another room.
Yeah, that's a big inconvenience. That's a big inconvenience.
Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. Now, I remember them doing a hearing. Oh, well, don't be sarcastic. I remember them doing a hearing way back in the day, but dental, come on now. Physicals, come on now. So you can fill out this well child packet. Come on now, man. That's too much on a teacher. It's too much. Parents have to be responsible. Yeah. It's just it. Simple.
I agree with you, caller. I agree with you, caller.
Thank you, sir.
Daryl is so insensitive. He's so insensitive.
Walking down to the cafeteria. I understand that.
See how he trying to be funny?
Yeah, he trying to, but he does that. He does that all the time. But
I know. He think you're a comedian. You not, because it's not about walking to the cafeteria. If you don't get that level score that you're supposed to get, that they expect you to get, the people in Nashville. Let's refer back to your previous little person you had on the show. If we don't do what the people in Nashville have mandated, then you're going to have a whole lot of black sisters, because that's mainly us teaching, a whole lot of black sisters looking for your little red self to try to get you to pay our bills. Is that what you want?
This is what I'm going to say.
I'm just asking, is that what you want?
This is what I'm going to say, because I know you're pretty good. I don't think that's too much for you. I think you can handle whatever.
I didn't say me. You know what I am. It starts with a P and end with a P. You understand what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is, Those are the topics. Those are the things that need to be discussed so we can figure it out. So we can make it so the teachers can do this. I was just looking at something about teaching and this and that when they were showing this long math or whatever. And I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I ever seen in my life. So if they putting stuff like that in, that's why when we talk about we need to vote, we need to have the right people in the right spots. Because some of that stuff I'm like, okay, why would you change the way it's been being taught? If it was good enough for us, it should be good enough for them.
But to me personally, my personal opinion is they want our children here in Memphis and the surrounding areas to not be as bright and as smart as the children up north or wherever, so that they can have the minimum wage jobs. So that's why we have all these warehouses. They're building another one over there, I think in Binghamton or somewhere like that, another warehouse. You understand what I'm saying? So if you get a diploma from here in Memphis, and then you try to go off to college and you like, wait a minute, we ain't learned none of this when we was in school. Then you wondering what happened. Okay. It's because the curriculums that we're forced to teach are not rich. They're not conducive to what we really need. We need basic education. Our children shouldn't be using calculators in 3rd grade. You understand? That doesn't make sense.
I agree with all of that, but it still goes back to this is the stuff that we need to be discussing. This is the stuff that the people who are making these decisions, we need to be voting in the right people to say, hey, this ain't right. This, it's like
you can't wait on a vote to happen. It starts with you in your home.
Yeah, it starts at home.
You telling them right. You telling them right.
If you in the kindergarten, or you in the 1st grade kindergarten or whatever, you should know basic stuff. You should not account.
But you know what? It's a lot of them that go to pre-K and don't know nothing, and that's not right, because the first teacher are the parents. It shouldn't be a person that's literally a teacher in a building. It should be somebody at the house teaching your child how to spell their name, how to say their name, how to write their name. It shouldn't wait till you 3 years old, 4 years old, going to the school for the first time, and all you know are rap songs and all this, that, and the other, but you don't know how to say your real name. Okay. You don't know, but you don't know the real word.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. They can learn.
That ain't got nothing to do with voting.
It ain't got that specifically ain't got nothing to do with voting. But just we already said it started at home. So what I'm saying is just like what you just said. They can recite a whole rap song, but you telling me they don't know their ABCs. That's the stuff that I'm talking about right there. That's where that does start at home. But even if they don't get it at home, which some of them don't, I'm sure even when we were going to school, all the kids didn't get everything that they needed. But at some point,
why are you trying to make something be all or nothing? You keep trying to act like it's not an in-between.
I'm not saying it's all or nothing. What I'm saying is, I'm saying the same thing that I said. What I got at Snowden versus what I got at Cypress was 2 different things. And I went to both schools. So all these people from Snowden that want to try to hit me up talking about Snowden was this. And if you didn't go to Cypress, then don't open your mouth because you don't know. And I'm telling you what those teachers did. Those teachers bent over backwards to make sure that we got as much education, as much as they could push into us. And it wasn't just about books.
That was 40 years ago. It
could have been 50, 60 years ago.
No,
what I'm saying is those teachers, they cared about us. They cared about us.
These teachers care nowadays.
I'm
not saying that they don't. I'm saying that it's not what I'm gonna say this too.
It's a different generation. It's a different generation. It's a different generation, Daryl.
It was some that didn't care back then too. The ones that gave you them A's and B's probably didn't care. They just said, "Okay, he's pretty smart. We'll give him an A and a B." But you got to define care. You understand what I'm saying? So it's some that care now. But they're limited.
First off, what I'm not gonna let y'all do is try to downplay anything that I say about Cypress Junior High School. So anything that I'm saying about Cypress High School,
still open. I'm just asking.
We're not talking about no Cypress, man. You changing the narrative again. Answer the latest question.
Look, I'm not
answer the latest question.
Is that are we not talking about education? Is that not?
We're not talking about Cypress.
Yes,
we're not talking about no Cypress.
We talking about it.
This is what me and Sharita have to deal with on all these cats, man. You go all off the planet.
Hey, Mr. Sir, let me tell you, Mr. Parkinson just said that the person that controls the media controls the net. So, you know, we know who in charge. So they want to keep just talking, and they want to talk about Cyprus. They can talk about Cyprus all they want to.
Look,
don't make it great.
I got, yeah, dude. I got some mute buttons over here too. I ain't used them yet. I just want to put that information.
See,
out.
he acting like that same police officer that we just said.
I'm gonna take my ball and leave. Do it.
See, I got something for you, T. Will. Say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The power of the everything. Look, power. That's what it's called. But I ain't gonna do it.
Man, I'm looking at my mute button going. I'm like, I didn't do that. He just muted me, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pitiful.
No,
Really
but
ridiculous.
I wanted you to come on because you're a school teacher, and I knew that the what you told me yesterday it held relevance to me, and what I want everybody to understand that it do start at home, but I need them to know the importance of what teachers do, and you didn't tell
do
yeah, what teachers do they do that they do that. The point I'm trying to make is you made the point yesterday, which you didn't do today, because I guess you wanted more airtime, was that the students that came to you when they went from elementary to middle school.
Oh, that one. I'll do it right fast because I don't need you to tell my story. So I had students that came from elementary and they were used to getting A's and B's, and they had some teachers that were not Black. And I knew that because I just knew it. And I asked them, and when they were getting like C's and D's and F's, they were crying. The parents were calling me, "Oh, my child." I literally had to have a conversation with my principal, and I told my principal what I was doing and what I showed him. And he said, "Okay, go for it." What I was telling the parents was, I said, "I understand your child's used to getting A's and B's." I said, and thing is, the subject that they were getting A's and B's in, they had to take a state test starting in the 3rd grade. So 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they should have passed those state tests. I said, "Have you seen your child's results from the state test?" "No, ain't nobody never gave me the results." I said, "Let me show you something." And we just gonna pick a subject. Let's say the subject was PE. We know we don't have a state test in PE, but I'm just gonna pick that subject. Let's say it was PE. I showed them the state test results from PE. They never passed the state test. I said, now that didn't go together because the teachers are supposed to be teaching the curriculum for that subject so that they can take this state test and then, pass the state test. I said, how is your child getting A's and B's all these years in the subject and never passed the state test? I said, because they weren't teaching them what they should have been doing. I said, let me ask you something. I asked the little children, let me ask you something. Did your teacher used to tell you pretty? They were some cute little kids, nice looking too. And they was like, yeah, all the time. I said, I know. I said, that made you feel good, didn't they? Said, yes, ma'am. I said, I know. I said, and that's what they did. They told you you look good, stroked your ego, passed you. And now when you come to a teacher like me, another color, and I'm teaching you for real, and you're earning what you get, you getting what you earn, and you like, wait a minute. You sit and think I mean and I don't like you. I said, but that's not the case. I'm just being real with you. That'll be cool too. I said, I'm just being real with you, darling. You weren't getting taught because those people didn't have a vested interest in those children. And I have a vested interest.
You ain't lying.
They look like me.
Ain't lying.
They walk like me. They talk like me.
And that's the
so
example.
Of course, I have a vested interest in them.
And that was the example I was using going from Snowden to Cyprus. That's the exact same thing, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. That when you go from one environment to another environment, it's a totally different thing, and you get more from that environment where that teacher or that school cares about.
Looks like you.
Yeah.
Hey, when they look like you, you can relate to them. Now I'm gonna tell you, in high school, I had a teacher. She was white. I told people that was my mama. I was playing. Of course, they knew she wasn't my mama, but that lady cared about me. She showed me she cared about me. That lady would take me all the way to the other side of town and drop me off, me and my child, because I had a child in high school, and drop me off. She didn't have to do that, and not one Black teacher offered to do it. But I still know that we as Black, by my other Black teacher, she cared about me too, and she didn't play. She made me go write something over and over and over and over and over and over again till she said, now that's it right there. I was like, but it made me the best writer. And I got an award from Commercial Appeal because of her. You understand what I'm saying? So we got teachers both black and white. But I'm talking about as a whole, when you are around your own understand what you've been through, what you've gone through. I done told my students, like, we done been on Section 8. I done had food stamps, all that. Ain't no you can tell me I wrote you. We've been there, done that. So I understand you got a woman to do better. And
Can I say something? I'm
Let me-
sorry to interrupt you, school teacher, because you have made the perfect point. Because my daughter is in school and at TSU, and she wants to be a teacher, K through 5, right? I tried to talk her out of doing that. I tried to talk her out of being a teacher because I was on the outside looking in, looking at the issues she would have to deal with parents and with these kids now, you know, these meth babies, these pill babies and all of that. But I know that that's her passion. And what you just said is the reason I started to go ahead and push her and back her, because she's going to be the difference in a child that looks like her. She's going to really care. She's going to invest her time, her energy, and to make sure that, like you said, that child is not going to go from just, let's say, an inner city school, and then they go to another, you know, a suburban school and not know anything and not be still getting A's and B's that they were getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So I understand exactly what you're saying. You hit the nail on the head with that one.
I got 2 quick things I'm gonna say. Sharita, I appreciate you changing and looking like you looking now versus how you were looking when the show first came on.
Well, thank
And-
you.
Yeah, we'll reprimand you later.
Yeah, we'll reprimand you. And secondly, I got one bad story about Cypress. It was the first day of school, and when I walked up, you know, everybody hanging around outside the front of the school, getting ready for the bell to ring. The guys looked at me, and they said, "Look, a white boy, get him!" I had to run home. My cousin Lena straightened it all out for me and told me, "Hey, nah, he's just light skinned. He ain't white." She called me at home. She said, "Hey, Earl, you can come on back to school now." I already told them what's up. And man, when I came back up there, you know, them guys embraced me and said, "Hey, man, we thought you was white. We finna tear your butt up." I was like, "No, man, I'm just light skinned. I was lighter than I am." But that's just one bad story, but it's still a good story. It's still, you know,
Right.
I still say it was the best middle school that I went to, junior high school. Caller, we thank you for calling in. Maybe next time you'll come on and show us your face. You don't have to be anonymous, but we enjoyed the conversation.
Not only that, we appreciate you. I want to say that that you actually care and you do what you do and you do it from the heart. So on behalf of In the Clutch and all of us, we appreciate everything you do and keep doing what you're doing.
And you know what else I like about her, Terry?
What's that?
I'm gonna tell you what else I like about her. She initially called me and said, "Who is that idiot you got on the show with you?" Hey, Carl, it was good talking to you. We finna end.
Well, I tell you what, I resemble that idiot.
Hey, I knew we probably would go over on the show today. We had like an hour and a half. That's cool. We got some good information from State Representative Antonio Parkinson. We got some information from a school teacher. I wish we could have got a police officer to call in so we can get a different view from, you know, the police side of it. But, you know, it's still all good. One more thing. Tune in tomorrow with Jonathan Smith, Essential AF Podcast, a Facebook Live, 6 p.m. Make sure you guys check them out. Everybody who called in today, we appreciate y'all. We hope you got some information that you can use. Once again, big ups to T-Wheel, big up to Sharita. We enjoyed you guys. Y'all got anything y'all want to say?
Just get out there and vote. That's all I want to say. Just get out there and vote.
And I just want to say, make sure you educate yourself about who you're voting for. Make them work for your vote.
No doubt, no doubt. They gotta work for that vote. They gotta do that. And with that being said, you guys don't y'all go nowhere, but that's the end of our show. We really appreciate you guys. Tune in. We probably gonna do a show this upcoming Wednesday. And we definitely gonna be back next Saturday at 3 p.m.